Well, the sun's burning bright on a forgotten field. Dusty roads, but the future's sealed. I got a map in my hand and a plan so tight, turning acres into power and light. You got the land, I got the keys. Ain't no puzzle too tall for me. Step by step, we'll make it right, from dawn's first glow to the dead of night. Oh, let the wind blow, let the rivers run. We're building tomorrow under the sun. I'll show you the way, just take my hand. Together we'll light up this land. Companies knocking, they know your worth. Empty fields gonna shake the earth. Solar panels or turbines high, I'll match your soil to the perfect sky. No more guessing, no more doubt. I'll line them up and we'll figure it out. From the valley deep to the canyon wide, your party's gold, let's turn the tide. Step to the left, step to the right. Every acre's a spark in the night. The deals all lined up, the contract's tight. We're making history shine so bright. Oh, let the wind blow, let the rivers run. We're building tomorrow under the sun. I'll show you the way, just take my hand. Together we'll light up this land.
Hey, thank you for checking out this channel. I want to tell you, this channel is going to save you 10, 20, maybe even 30 years of headaches from bad decisions on land deals. Now, what I mean by that, now some of you are in the middle of a land negotiation deal with renewables or cryptocurrency or AI data centers. As you know, there's a big boom right now for these type of facilities. There's a huge demand for land. I'm talking thousands and thousands of acres right now all across the United States. Now, I see this in my day-to-day job. I work for the big companies, but also here right now for YouTube and for what I'm producing right now is strictly for you, the landowners. So what I've taken, everything I've gotten from the big companies, and I've learned and I condensed it down to some simple ideas for you guys to understand. Now, there's a couple things I'm going to give you throughout this channel. And through my website, I'm going to give you a checklist for AI data centers, cryptocurrency, solar, wind, and I'm missing one more, battery. So all those are in high demand right now. And I don't care what people say right now on the current administration. There might be a slight dip in certain renewables. There's a huge demand for utility and AI and cryptocurrency right now. And as those skyrocket, utilities has to help with that infrastructure. So we're seeing a lot of big land grabs for substations and other utility opportunities for you guys, the landowners. Some of you guys have big ranches and you really want to optimize your property. Some of you guys have small properties, 5 acres or even 1 acre. And you can still do some good stuff there. You could do some small projects with 1 acres, really small battery projects that the lease looks really good. Or you can have 5 acres and do a nice cryptocurrency type of a deal. Now, I laid this out in my book, and I'm going to show you that to you in a little bit. But first, I want to show you this grid system I have here. Now, what you're looking at here is just a little bit, just a piece of the transmission lines that are currently out there in the United States. Now, in all that craziness, right, there's substations, switch stations, and what we have going on is we have a lot of outside companies, which is good, like places from Dubai, places through Europe coming in, and China as well, for crypto and AI data centers. And they're just exploding everywhere. They're looking for quite a bit of acres for small as 25 megawatts all the way up to 100 to 500 megawatts. And some of these guys have long-term, they want to do a long-term commitment, where they're doing well over 500 megawatts in a course amount of time. So what we're looking at here is a grid system that actually is going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. As you know, data centers, when they come in, they're big and they suck up a lot of power, they suck up water. And so the utility companies have to beef up their substations. They have to have more substations. They have to have switch stations. They have to connect them now with gen ties, which are transmission lines. Those are those big, huge power lines you guys see along the road or in the middle of fields. And and as you know, none of this is done by eminent domain, which I get into a little bit later on. Unless it's the utility company, they could come in with eminent domain, and then you have some options there. So this channel is going to cover everything in detail. I'm going to put everything in a solar playlist for you, a battery playlist, another renewables, maybe like a wind playlist, then cryptocurrency, then also AI data centers. And then the other bucket, I guess you can say, would be all the other stuff like all the connections, like what you need as easements within these projects, and also other type of like substation builds, expansions, that sort of thing that could happen to your property. So I want to give you an example. I have one person, one landowner. We've done so much on a property. She wants to fully optimize her property. So we put a cryptocurrency property on her crypto data center on a project on her property. We're looking at a battery now, maybe even another crypto data center. Now utilities coming to beef up the substation. So they're going to put a switch station there. There's probably going to be another transmission line coming through there. And in addition to all that, there are the local utility companies coming in with easements to support everything. And she's getting paid on all that. She's getting paid on all that. On top of that, she has a little over 100 acres there. She can actually even entertain the idea of doing a community solar on the property now. So she's fully optimizing what she wants to have done on that property, and she's going to make killer money. So there's a couple of phases you can think about this. If you have 5 acres, okay, maybe small battery and maybe crypto, that'd be good. Now, crypto is going to be anywhere from 15 years on a lease, and I've done leases anywhere from 5 to about 11, 12,000 per month on some of those. Those are nice, quick with low option projects, and you could, if you want that in your portfolio, that's good. You can do that, and I can definitely help you guide you for that. But another piece for that is if you have more than 5 acres, and let's say you have 100 acres or 150 acres, and you could have crypto on there, you could have battery on there. In addition, community solar on there. It's big enough for community solar. Now it's not big enough for utility solar, but that's a different discussion on utility solar. So and how you can do that. But there's ways of structuring your deal that makes sense, so you can have all these different industries optimizing your property, so you can get all these different revenue streams here. And some of you guys are in the thick of things. You're probably getting a bunch of letters, a bunch of lowball letters to purchase or option to purchase, or option to lease, all kinds of different things you're probably getting. And that's why I have made this right here. I want you guys to take a look at this. I put this book together, The Power in Your Land. It's a guide. It's going to cover everything. This is about, let me move myself right here. It's about 295 pages. This is very in depth on what you need to understand on lingo and options and what I've done and what I've seen as far as deal setups and also risk analysis you need to understand as well that we kind of get into. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on this book, but what I am going to do right now is show you a few things, highlights. But as these videos start coming through on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to it, because I'm going to be putting stuff, then I'm going to get detailed. We're going to go into the book and get chunks out and go through that. Also, I'm going to try to do this. So this is a tentative type of a commitment, but I should be able to do it the second and fourth week of the month. So the second and fourth week of the month, on those Fridays, 9 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to do a Q&A, and if you have property, you have whatever out there, and you have all these questions, that's when we can do it. We can just go back and forth, and it's not going to be for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It's going to be for how long it takes. So I want you guys to be very prepared on what you're understanding. So just a real quick look at this. So this is the power in your land, and it's on my website. I'll give you that .com here in a minute, or you can see below. Actually, you can see the below on what it is. So it's going to be in-depth strategies, FAQ, a lot of FAQ in there, glossaries. There's going to be quite a bit in there. So let me tell you what I am not doing right now. I am not a broker for you to represent you. So let me have that disclaimer right now. I am a broker. I am licensed in certain areas. I'm working on another license, but that's a different thing. I work for a mid-sized company. I'm a director there, and this is all I do is do land deals, hard land acquisitions for the big companies. And basically, I have now a little bit of an opportunity to have all this knowledge. I have over 18,000 hours of this of experience, and I'm going to basically condense them down for you guys, the landowners. I love helping landowners, and my goal for this, one of this, is to educate you, because someday I could be knocking on your door asking you for a land deal from one of my big guys, from someone that hired us, or more important, we may be coming to you for a power easement, Gentie transmission line connection. And it's good for you guys to know and understand what all that means, that lingo. And we're doing stuff all over the United States. We're doing stuff that's so big that's affecting about 40 different states when it comes to big AI. So, like I was saying, it's out there right now. So a little bit about me. I'm a director of acquisitions at a mid-sized firm, over 18,000 hours. I do various projects, do a lot of acquisitions. But I want to do acquisitions for you guys and kind of setting you guys up for success. One of my biggest things that I love is helping landowners. The reason why I get a lot of personal, I guess, good feelings from that. There's a lot of elderly folks that I've helped, and a lot of elderly folks that we've gotten things going for them, but it just didn't go through because of whatever reason. They had a catastrophic issue on their property, and the deal couldn't go through. So they only made a little bit of money versus a lot of money. And I've seen that, and I've seen what this can do, what kind of a windfall this can be for landowners. And if I was a landowner and I lived in these lower 48s, and I would just love a land deal, and you can just make so much good money on it. And you know, it breaks my heart when I see certain family members um, fight over it, and they kind of ruin it for the elderly in their family members. But also too, and I'm going to get into this in much detail on title, is you got to have your title in order, because we have a prime area. I have this prime 100 acres that we can optimize so good. I have solar, I have battery, I have crypto clients that want that property, but there's so many issues with the title that it probably won't get done. So they don't have their title in place. And even if we help them with the title, it's going to be a absolute nightmare mess, because there's so many micro owners in there, and nothing is laid out with trust, and so it's a big mess. Which I will put in a video that we get into much later on the details of that. So that's a little bit about me. I want to get into a little bit of the table of contents here, then we can kind of move on. Then I'm going to make a video specifically for AI right now, because I know AI is big, and you're probably using AI for a ton of things right now, and which is great. But have you ever thought about what's powering this AI? All the computers, all the different hardware there in different states, all the connections, that's us. We're at the very beginning, where we develop the land, we get the land ready for that. Then all the long haul fiber that connect to that. So there's a lot to that. Then on top of that, the other back end is, so how do we support that? Local utility companies expanding on their grid. So there's a lot to that. So that's what I'm saying. I come from an insider knowledge of seeing the growth potential here, and seeing what these guys are doing and producing. And that, if you have vacant land anywhere from, really, I like to say 5 acres, but 1 acre, even but 5 acres and up, you should be really understanding what your worth is and what you could do and how you can properly optimize your property here. So chapter 1, leasing your land, solar. We get again do a checklist here. I have a lot of checklists. I talk about a lot of risk, some negotiation tactics. 2, hosting wind and energy, same thing, same kind of idea here. I get into a lot of some checklists, some things you need to understand about wind, because the wind is different setup from solar. So it's quite a bit different. So there's some things you need to know about that. Substation transmission line, chapter 3. This is kind of what I've been talking about, supporting the AI and other industries that are coming and supporting that grid. So they're not, so the support is there, so there could be more I guess you can say more storage, more can be developed with battery, more can be developed with all these other energy projects right now. So um there's going to be a lot to chapter 3. I'm going to put in some more videos here. We'll talk about eminent domain too. So some of you guys might be in eminent domain issues and you're getting knocked on your door from the utility company. They want to basically they can force you into selling your property. Now, of course, I can help you with this. I know this very extensively. Now, I can help you only if there's not a conflict of interest with my current people, my current clients. But I'll tell you straight up, like I can't help you. Just buy the book, and then you can read for yourself what you can do there. But if you want me to get my hands dirty with that, then I definitely can, as long as it's not a conflict. AI chapter, this we go into a lot of this right here, some step by steps for AI data centers. Crypto mining, same thing. I talk about the crypto mining. This is very good to understand and to know what you're doing here. 6, renewable grid support opportunities. This is really if putting those charge stations on your property. That's kind of growing a little bit. It's not a big deal. Chapter 7, decommissioning is big. Talk about a lot of that. That's kind of a big thing for landowners, for you guys, is what if it goes out of, what if basically the company goes out of business? I have all these facilities on my property. What's happening? There's decommissioning bonds. You need to understand what decommissioning is. And I put a lot of language in there too for that your attorney could look at. I'm happy to work with brokers and other attorneys as you start working on this. And I'm going to tell you why. It's very important to have your attorney look at things. This is some of the stuff you guys are doing is a once in a lifetime deal. It's going to basically be locking up your property for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years even. And you want to make the right decision on that. And you don't want to just sign whatever, which I've seen happen, and it always bites them in the butt. So chapter 8, the future of infrastructure, why it matters. This is important. This is talking about kind of what's happening in our industry, why there's big expansions. And we have companies from like Dubai and Europe coming in, dropping 20, $30 billion. Even our some of the companies here like Tesla with some of their data centers coming in is huge. They're dropping tons of money into this. Um, Landowners FAQ is good. I have some really big questions here that and I get in really deep on these questions and answers. So you really want to look at that. And one of them is like your taxes. How can you have your renewable company pay for your property taxes? And the answer is yes. I get it done all the time for landowners. So there's a lot there. There's a lot there you can look at. Chapter 10, understanding option agreements, is a big one. Why do we even have an option agreements? Why doesn't it just go to closing? There's a lot to that, and I'm gonna get into details of that. This book gets into detail too. Just to kind of give you a heads up, there's a lot of interconnection studies that need to be done with the grid system to make sure everything's viable and nothing's catastrophic. So they're just not trying to put you on hold, which some are, which I know how to weed those guys out. Those companies I know how to weed out. So you want to be very careful with that. Then I have a bonus landowner toolkit, checklist, some red flags, some more FAQ. So there's a lot of that there. So so that's pretty much it on the book here. And so you can actually just go to the website, and my website is, let me put it up here. Let me pull it. And I have it down in the bottom there. So I have it in the bottom link here. But here is the website, iloverow.com. What you do, your book access will come here. I give you a code, then you can get into it. A lot of FAQ here, but it's kind of a general of what is happening here. So here's where the master edition 4-in-1 book, and I kind of go through the process here. So in some basic price points, the book is $49. The premier listing package $199. This is where I get a lot of the most hit on is if you have land and you want to know it's viable, you want us to basically pull out a Rolodex of all our renewables, all our people that we know, and get your property, doll it up, and show it out to these folks and see if they want to bite on that. And that's something that you have to be pretty aggressive with. And I have a huge, extensive list of the right people to be looking at your property. The right people. That's what you want, the right people. I know a lot of you are just submitting your property randomly on different websites. It's not going to do anything, I guarantee you. You need to know the lingo. You need to know what they're looking for, and you need to be very aggressive on who to even contact for that. So the premier listing package is very important, and that's just me just getting it out to these people aggressively and trying to get you a land deal. Now, negotiating, all that kind of stuff, that's all you guys. Could you get the book with this? And it's kind of, I'm just kind of just connecting you to the company there. Then you guys are off on your own. Now, if you want the whole bells and whistles, the full service, now I can only do a few of these because I work at a day job of kind of doing this anyways for the big companies, but I can only take on a handful of this, and I will totally guide you, like basically hold your hand in all this. And all these calls you get from renewables and from anybody really on your property, all you have to do is just give them my phone number, my personal cell number. I take care of it all. I know what they're looking for. I know the lingo. I know if they're gonna undercut you. I know if they're a shady company. All that, I can weed all that out. Then what we do is we come up with the plan of like, okay, this looks good, this looks good, this looks good, and this is what you need to watch for, and we kind of take it from there. So the full service is just me, just kind of just help lining you up with a deal and weeding out all the junk so you can get a quick deal going. So, and I have a pretty good price point on that. So it's not as much as you're probably thinking. But yep, that's just pretty much it, guys. Thank you for tuning in on my channel here. I'm gonna have a lot more details here. I'll bring you a lot of value to what you need. So, all right, stay tuned, guys. You have a good one. See ya.